Welcome back to CTV Morning Live, our Ask the Expert segment with Doyle Salewski. Paul Salewski is joining us right now. I do believe we have a call on the air, so I want to get to Diane's phone call right now. So good morning, Diane.
Good morning. My question is, after your proposal, how long do we have to wait to apply for credit again, or are we able to apply?
Well, you're able to apply for credit anytime you wish, and typically some creditors would like you to finish your proposal before you do that. A proposal will go on as long as the length of payments are. Your credit rating is going to be affected for 3 years past the date of your last payment. We would encourage you, though, to start building up your credit. One way to do that would be to apply for a secured credit card. That's a credit card where you put down maybe $1,000. You get a credit card that's got a value of $1,000 and you use that card. And my recommendation always is to use only half the value of the card, because if you use more than that, it goes against you. Charge things, but pay them off religiously. So what you've got in your credit rating now is you've done a proposal, but you now have a history of payments and purchases and payments and purchases, so you're handling your credit effectively.
But you don't want to be paying off, the credit cards that are all assembled on one end and then applying for a different card on the other end.
Well, what you're applying for, though, is a different card, because it's really not credit, it's your money, because you've given them $1,000. They're giving you $1,000 worth of credit, in my example.
Right.
So you use that $1,000. So what you're doing, it's your money. But what you do is you go and you buy some gas, you do whatever, and maybe you use $500 of that money this month. You pay that off. So now your credit history says, oh, she borrowed $5, she paid $5. And you do a history of that month by month, that builds up your credit rating.
So that's one way of building it, but you don't want to start with another scratch card that someone in the mail is going, hey, we have a credit card for you, why don't you fill out the application?
It depends how responsible you feel, but for the most part the answer is no. But that's one way of building credit, as the way I said, was a security card.
Okay, so you already invest in it as it goes, you nibble away at it, but then you're always constantly putting back.
You put some money on each month, and you pay down you give them $1,000.
Right.
Then you have a credit card. You go and you charge $500 this month, but you pay that $500 off when the bill comes in. You charge another $500 next month. You pay that when the credit card comes in. So you have a history of purchases, payments, all the way along. So on the one hand, yeah, you've done a proposal, which shows your creditors that you made a deal and you've effectively tried to pay your debt off, which is good. And then you've got a history of payments and purchases.
Okay. One way of going about things. Yeah. Now, I asked you about coming in. We have people are going to be asking questions. You do offer a free consultation.
Absolutely. They can come in, they can talk to us. Certainly for people who are in situations right now where they have entered into agreements with debt settlement companies, we'd be more than happy to look at what they've done. If they don't feel comfortable doing that, what they should do is contact the debt settlement companies and ask them what they're doing. You talk to my creditors, what's happening to the money that I've been giving you. For the most part, the first 6 months, 8 months typically goes to them taking fees. They've done nothing with your creditors. Your situation is just getting worse.
That was one thing I wanted to touch on too in this segment. So people have the option, of course, calling you guys, you're putting yourself at a different level. What would you say to viewers if they are in a certain situation right now, they're dealing with that, with
the debt settlement company not getting answers?
Exactly,
Come and see us and we'll analyze your situation, tell you what we can do different.
What questions can they be asking prior to assigning a contract as well? You're saying look at the dotted line, so what is it that they're looking for?
You're going to want to know exactly what fees you're paying to them. You want to know when they take those fees. You want to know when they're going to start contacting your creditors. You want to know what deals they've made with your creditors. You want to know the time frame for all of that.
So while you're entering into a contract, make sure you know exactly the other end of what they're doing.
They'll tell you, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Well, you're going to want them to demonstrate that they have done that. And for the most part, our experience is they're not very good at doing the second part, talking to the creditors and paying the creditors their share. And as I said before, they can't deal with all creditors anyway. Well,
and the tough part is too is that you think you're making strides, because you are giving them money, you are handing things over. But you want to make sure that it's actually already going to that rather than stockpiling.
You want to go the right places where your money's supposed to go to, not just to them in fees.
Okay, in terms of time that you're looking at, from start date, you can start to feel a difference after a consultation.
Well, certainly come to see us. I would hope you'd feel better right away. We'll give you some options and tell you the consequences of each of those options. We'll say this is a better option for you than this is, and once you start any kind of a system, whether it's a proposal or a bankruptcy, there should be immediate relief because your debt situation is now handled. We take over dealing with the creditors. We take over all that. Your interest stops, your payments stop, and we'll deal with your creditors for you.
And then there's like a collective...
Hopefully there is.
Can you almost see that too, when they're sitting in the chairs?
We see it all the time. We see it all the time, exactly.
A deep breath, some of the weight lifted off the shoulders.
Yeah.
If it's a situation that you find yourself in, if you're starting to get those phone calls for people saying, listen, we're starting to call, where's the payment? This is the time that you really want to say, don't want to get further into debt or further in trouble, call some help. Doyle and Salewski, the information listed right there on your screen in terms of making a call, free consultation. You can also check out the website for more information and try to have as much of your information, as many of your statements and your bills and anything that you might have, so that when you go in, it can be the most productive meeting as possible.
That's right.
Awesome. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do have plenty more to come here on CTV Morning Live. We're going to take a look more at some of the guests coming in for the Folk Festival. And of course, our own Martha Stewart. Melissa Lamb is here with her Pinterest segment as well. There's all the information we mentioned for Doyle Salewski. 399 Bank Street, you were saying right around Gladstone, right? Bank in Gladstone?
396 actually.
396. Nice. 396 Bank Street. The number's listed right there at doylesalewski.ca. We'll be back right after this.